Prior to the Allied victory at Midway, the Allies had been fighting a defensive war in the Pacific. The objective was to try to maintain the status quo in the Pacific while we were defeating Hitler in Europe. And once the war was over in Europe, we would take all of our forces and put them up against the Japanese. And that amount of firepower, all the Allies, the Japanese wouldn't be able to survive. Midway changes all that. And as a result of the losses in terms of naval power and experienced fighter pilots and technicians that the Japanese suffered at Midway, we can now go on the offensive. And part of this strategy was a concept called island hopping, because the Japanese controlled thousands of islands in the Pacific. There was no way that we were going to drive the Japanese out of every single one of these islands. So what we did was we focused on attacking the main islands, all right, in each chain. So in this case, you can see the Gilbert Islands, the Mariana Islands, all right, are located here. We would attack the main islands, secure control of the main islands, and then isolate the little islands in between. The little islands in between weren't getting supplies from the main islands because they were now controlled by the Allies, and thus they would naturally be wither and die. All the while, as we're hopping, okay, these little islands, we're working our way towards two destinations. One of these destinations is the Philippines, so that we can liberate the Philippines and use the Philippines as a base to launch attacks on islands closer to Japan, which is our ultimate goal. So you can see that as we move through the Solomon Islands, we're moving towards the Philippines. As we move through and hop through the Gilbert Islands and the Marianas, all right, we're working towards Iwo Jima and Okinawa to set up our eventual land invasion of Japan.